Hi everyone. This live video is for all of you who haven't actually quite gotten on the new age health bandwagon, let's call it that. And I say that because not everyone's in the same space. And when people come to me, they're already aware of why they shouldn't eat inflammatory seed oils. They already know about glyphosate and gluten and all the things that I just think everybody knows. And so it's difficult when someone comes to our clinic and joins us for healthy aging, precision medicine, and hormone rebalancing. First of all, the question is, why are you telling me how to eat? I came for hormones. And it's really important because food affects inflammation, food affects your gut health, it affects your biochemistry, and your biochemistry affects how you make and use hormones. So food is very critical for all of your health and your healthy aging and longevity. And in our clinic, I like to focus on health span, not lifespan. So health span is how long you live and how well you live. Lifespan is how long you live without attending to living well. So the average person today is going to end up in a nursing home, needing full-time care, and not having a health span. So when we're starting to make basic health changes, it's really overwhelming. A lot of people don't want to give up food that they're used to eating because it's such an emotional thing and it's just about quick and convenient and all of that. So, for many of you, you're just starting from the most basic point of eating a regular, what we call SAD diet, standard American diet. And it's overwhelming to think of having no grain, no dairy, no legumes, no inflammatory foods, and knowing what seed oils are and all of those things. So I thought that I would just walk around the hospital today and collect a bunch of things, and then we'll look at what's available to the average person, what's considered healthy, why it's not healthy, and what kind of basic substitutes can we make to start feeding our bodies better. Food fuels your health, or it can feed disease, chronic disease that you do not want if you want to live a healthy, vital life that's independent. So let's just start with ketchup, okay? So ketchup, the ingredients are tomato paste, liquid sugar, white vinegar, salt, onion powder, and spices. Now, spices is a really interesting term because they don't have to tell you what's in it. And if you talk to all of us who are addicted to feeding our bodies pure and healthy food, most of us would never put this in our bodies because, one, it's high in sugar, and under spices, there could be any number of ingredients that, really speaking, can be addictive to your brain and make you want more. So there are ketchups made with minimal ingredients and no added sugar, and that's what I would trade this one out for. It's not going to taste the same to you, but that's why this is so. The amount of sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And you really need to know that sugar is easily an addictive substance. And you might not know that you're addicted to sugar, but if you love your carbs, your breads, your pastas, they all become sugar. And gluten contains something called gluteomorphin, which acts on the opioid receptors in the brain, and so you get addicted to that. But that comes under carbs. Let's just talk about simple things that we can change. So Miracle Whip, a very common thing that a lot of people use. Now, this package didn't have any ingredients on it, so I'm just going to pull it up here on my computer. So it's got water, soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, vinegar, modified cornstarch, eggs, salt, natural flavor, mustard flour, potassium sorbate, spice, and dried garlic. The original Miracle Whip is produced using less oil compared to traditional mayonnaise, thus around half of the calories. So let's talk about that. Are calories really as important as the quality of the nutrients you're getting and the wholesomeness of the food? So I personally will use a high-fat mayonnaise called it's made by Chosen Foods, and it's avocado oil mayonnaise. We would never have this in our house. Why? Because It's got modified cornstarch and corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup are one of the top 10 food ingredients to avoid, period. If you want healthy aging and longevity, you will stay away from high fructose corn syrup. That's for a talk under insulin resistance, and all of that stuff. But trust me, high fructose corn syrup, oh yeah, it says water, soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup. So absolute no. Get your chosen foods. Mayonnaise, it's easily available at Costco. Avocado oil is by far healthier than soybean oil. So we talk about seed oils being inflammatory. Canola, sunflower, soybean, peanut oil, these are oils that promote and provoke leaky gut and inflammation. Inflammation drives chronic disease. So another thing to always bear in mind when you're reading labels is to make sure you're not consuming seed oils. So let's see, a Jell-O snack pack. We put these in kids' lunches, I think, right? Or whatever we do with them. So Jell-O snack pack ingredients: water, sugar, apple juice from concentrate, less than 2% of carrageenan, adipic acid, citric acid, carabine gum, sodium citrate, potassium citrate, natural and artificial flavor, and red 40. So red food dyes are historically known to affect the mood and function of children's brains, and there's been a lot of data about this. So I would say to you, avoid any food dyes as much as possible. You do not want to use food dyes also because most of them are made from artificial substances, often coming from petrochemicals. So if you wouldn't eat coal tar and you wouldn't have petroleum, then I don't think you should be eating stuff that comes from it, right? So let's say no to anything with food dyes. Now you will find food dyes in potato chips, in tomato sauces, in lots of things that come in bottles and things like that. So we'll get to that. Let's look at another snacky thing that we feed our kids. So high in sugar for sure. And oh, this one has its ingredients on it, so I didn't pull that one up. This one says reconstituted skim milk, water, sugar, modified cornstarch, canola oil, cocoa salt, sodium stearoyl 2-lactylate, disodium phosphate, artificial flavor, xanthan gum, and caramel. Now the thing about artificial flavor is that no one knows what they are. There are companies that protect their recipes and their concoctions so closely because they manufacture flavors that make something palatable. What we know is that a natural flavor and natural foods will break down over time. When you create artificial ingredients and you put them in food, the food lasts a lot longer. So do we really want to feed our kids things that are filled with artificial garbage and coloring and petroleum byproducts, addictive sugar that affects their mood, makes them more hyperactive, affects their focus? I can pretty much look at kids and know how well they're being fed. Margarine, well, always pick butter instead of margarine. Margarine has chemicals in it and it's a manufactured product. It's synthetic. Let's look at yogurt. Now, I'm taking you in baby steps with things. So I personally don't eat dairy. My family is a dairy-free family. Cow milk is for cows. It raises baby cows into big cows, and I don't think any of us want to grow that large. I also think that if humans were meant to eat dairy, then we would still be suckling in our 50s and 60s, and we would never wean off of our mommy's boobies, right? Imagine that. Just put that picture in your head and think, do I really need to eat dairy? But, you know, as far as all the horrible things you could eat, maybe yogurt isn't one of them. Although this one is not as clean. You want a yogurt that has natural ingredients and nothing much added to it. This one has skim milk, cream, and active bacterial cultures, fruit, sugar, cane sugar, cornstarch, natural flavor, carrageenan, sodium citrate, lemon juice concentrate. So, you know, if you were stuck between this and this or this and this, then you may want to pick this, I would think. Let's go down to peanut butter. So peanut butter, Jif peanut butter. Peanuts, sugar as the second ingredient, so going straight to your brain. Fully hydrogenated vegetable oils, rapeseed, which is canola, and soybean. So again, stay away from the inflammatory oils. Mono and diglycerides, salt, and something else. I just don't want to click on that link now. So I would pick something like this, an all natural nut butter. So this is almond cashew butter, and the ingredients are dry roasted cashews and almonds. There you go. So I know maybe a bit spicy for you, but look at this one. This has aged cayenne red pepper, vinegar, water, salt, and garlic powder. How clean is that? It has everything that came from nature in the way it came from. There's nothing added. There's nothing artificial. Same with this. So if you were going to put one of these in your kid's snack pack, then you would go with this because the ingredients are apples, water, and ascorbic acid. So ascorbic acid is vitamin C. Now, I could pick on it and say apples are on the dirty dozen and you don't know how many toxins and chemicals. But again, if you had to pick, which one would you pick? So at the end of the day, when we're making small changes and we're trying to get results at the end, we don't just suddenly go paleo like I am. It took me years to get to where I am, and I still cheat, right? So, you know, I've learned now not to do that, but we're paying more attention. So the thing is, when you do extreme things suddenly, your body will not adjust well, but your brain doesn't adjust well, and you're more prone to falling off the wagon. So I always say to patients, start small. First, reduce sugar, reduce all the chemicals and processed things, and the most important thing is start reading the labels so that you can see what's in your food. And if you have to Google the ingredient and find out what it is, then you probably shouldn't eat it, right? So sugar, processed food. Now, ultra-processed foods, the overarching term is called UPCs. And ultra-processed foods have been shown to, like recently in the news, it's all over, like CNN, Sanjay Gupta, all these people are talking about it, whereas we've said eat whole food for 20 years now. But ultra-processed foods have a direct link to mental health illness. And so if you have anxiety, low mood, any significant mental health issues, you should absolutely not eat ultra-processed food. And what is an ultra-processed food? Anything that has a whole list of ingredients that you have to find out what they are, as opposed to this, which has ingredients that you know exactly what they are, or something like this, where you know exactly what's in it and you can identify everything the way God and Mother Nature made it. So start small, read labels, and then the next thing we'll move into is how to read the label for the other macronutrients, and we're going to talk about protein and carbohydrates and good fats and things like that. So hope to see you again soon. I'm Dr. Natasha Iyer, and I'm dedicated to helping you live younger, longer.